It muted us. I don't know why I muted it. But hey, Lowco wrestling fans and wrestling fans, quite frankly, around the world. We have no idea where the power of YouTube will take us tonight as we talk about wrestling in the Lowco and probably a little bit beyond, because there was a big high-profile RAF match last night that we might want to chat about too. I know all of our kids were tuned in, or at least looking at the clips on social media today and checking out the Bo Bassett, Caden Henschel match. They both know those guys so well from social media these days. So we'll go a little bit all over. We got middle school, we got JV, we got high school dual tournaments. We got Brian Maynard in the house, the man who sits and thinks about bout sheets all day and then probably dreams about missing bout sheets all night every Saturday and recovers on Sunday. We got Rob Michelici, the coach over at Battery Creek, and for a short time, one of the better referees in the area, I might add, Mr. Michelici, who has gone black, perhaps in protest of something.
I'm here. You can't see me.
We lost your picture, but you must have scrolled away to a different tab or something.
Well, there you are. There I'm back. My bad.
And we've, of course, got my co-host, the GOAT of Lowco wrestling officials, and the mentor and teacher to officials all over the world, mostly in Hawaii, it seems. He's got a good boondoggle going over there. George Dixon and myself, Justin Jarrett. What's going on, fellas? It's been a great week of wrestling in the Low Country. We're all recovered. Our voices have come back a little bit. You and I, Rob, from coaching all weekend. It was a grind out there. JV qualifiers on Friday, middle school qualifiers on Saturday. I know Bluffton had their duels on Saturday as well, and Whale Branch had a dual tournament as well. That's where Hardyville was. So there was a lot of action going on. George, where were you this week?
Well, I mean, I was busy Wednesday. I was at Battery Creek. I saw the Dolphins over there, and then Thursday I was at McCracken doing a middle school try, and I was doing some meal prep for friends of the wife. They had some issues, and so I was making some meals for them, helping out. And then yesterday at Bluffton at the high school yesterday doing the Bobcat duels.
All right. So we got eyes and boots on the ground from there. I figured you were probably over there when we didn't see you over at Hilton Head at the qualifiers. Rob, did you guys wrestle somewhere Saturday?
Yeah. We went over to Bluffton. We were with George too. Okay. A lot of good wrestling there. Yeah, it was good.
And some good wrestling at Whale Branch. It sounds like I didn't get to go with our guys and girls over there because I took the middle schoolers, but we had a great weekend. We got a gold. Estevan Cortez, 135 middle schooler, taking the gold. You know him, right, Robbie? You in the room a good bit.
He's the man. I like him.
Just the greatest. One of the best kids I've ever been around. I mean, I've already told my daughter he's on the approved list if it didn't go in that way. You know, if she meets him and she's into him, he's already approved. Like he doesn't have to pass any further screening. Tremendous young man. And then our big guy, Jose Chavez Garcia of
Coach,
the big chorizo.
Coach, he's got some younger brothers coming up too. I think that could wrestle too. So
yeah. A floppy-haired young gentleman who looks quite athletic. And I mean, everybody loves that man, Esty. He was at Bridges last year, and to watch the Bridges families and kids just descend on him and love on him all day long it said a lot about both him and about the program they're building over there with Coach Hagan, who may or may not stop by. We call him Hulk Hagan. My guy Jose Chavez ran into the Hulk from Oak Brook. They call him the Hulk from Oak Brook. I apologize for not knowing his name off the top of my head. It's Solomon, I believe, is his last name. He weighed in he told me 282, but he told Jose 286. Middle school heavyweight on Saturday. I think he's zone 4D, I want to say, Oak Brook. He was a large gentleman. We lost to him 6-1, but we're going to game plan to see him next week at Somerville. Maynard, everything ran quite smoothly. I mean, didn't see a lot of people yelling at you on Friday or Saturday.
Just a couple. It's the normal questions. Why is my kid not on the bracket? Oh wait, no, now I see. Stuff like that. I mean, but no, you're right. It ran pretty well both nights. And every time I go over to help, go over to Hilton Head, Mike Noon's got a lot of really good people that help us out. Yeah. Some of his assistants, especially Alex Braden, is always a huge help when I'm over there.
A Seahawk legend, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a really good guy. Great guy for the sport of wrestling in the area too. And yeah, he's always a big help. But Mike's always got a good, group of people helping out. And they've ran so many tournaments at this point that they know what they're doing pretty well.
Their kids are well trained at running it too. That helps so much because we all have to rely on our kids. But when you have a lot of kids that have been in your program for a long time, they become well versed in it. They know what's going on, and they always host a lot of stuff. So that's why you see the same people. By the way, if you don't understand that about wrestling in South Carolina, there's only a few places that are really equipped with both the facilities and the right personnel to be able to run a tournament of any kind of scale. And that's why you see people going back to the same places again and again for your qualifiers and your lower states and those kind of things, because we've all been through disasters at one place or another where you're like, they can't host again. They're not equipped to do this for one reason or another. And it's no shade. It's just you don't have the right people in place to do it. So big credit to the people who do and who step up time and time again to do it, because it is a massive undertaking and it takes an army of people to pull off the hospitality room and man in the door all day long and run it in bout sheets and all that stuff. It's a crazy amount of work. So do want to give a ton of love to everybody who hosted events this weekend for putting up, showing up and putting it out there for the kids and giving them a chance to wrestle, which we're getting more and more opportunities to do around here. I mean, you can find a match when you need one around here now, because we've got enough programs that are getting on a competitive level. So it's an awesome thing to see. So let's talk a little bit about some of the highlights of the weekend. George, you were at Bluffton. You said Bobcats had a good showing. Beaufort had a really good showing, right? Or no, Beaufort was at Whale Branch.
May River and
May River,
Lucy Beckham wound up in the finals. So it was May River, Lucy Beckham. May River had in their pool Stratford, and that was a heck of a duel as well. That was, I think, 5-6 points maybe. So May River did obviously pull it out, and then had Lucy Beckham in the finals. There was some good wrestling going on. I know Rob can attest to that. They were there, and who was the stud in y'all's pool? Was it Lucy Beckham?
Yeah, we ran into a buzzsaw, Lucy Beckham, man. They had a couple tough guys. I think they had a guy that had a couple state champion things there. Yeah, he was a state champ. Yeah. And then the next guy at 44, he was, I think, a runner-up too. They were tough. And then Hartsville was tough too. We wrestled them, man. They had a lot of studs, and I think that coach that duel, I think, was probably took the length of 2 duels for Hartsville and Stratford. And May River.
Yeah, Stratford May River match. Yeah, it lasted about the length of 2 other duels because that mat wound up getting a little behind because that thing lasted so long.
Yeah. That'll happen in those dual events. You get one Donnybrook. It happened a little bit to May River duels too, because they had Travelers Rest right out of the gate, and that one went, that one took a while. And then they had another one on that mat that was a good scrap. So they kind of that'll mess up your schedule a little bit, but nonetheless, I love these dual tournaments. I love the way you can get everybody several matches. It's kind of a bummer when guys bump away from your best guys and stuff like that, but usually you can get everybody 4 or 5 matches in a day, and at least 2 or 3 of them are going to be good for them, productive for them in some way or another. So love these events. Bluffton had a good one. May River coming out with the title there, but as you said, Stratford showing up, and Lucy Beckham. Spignardo was the other guy.
Spignardo, that was his name.
144. He's very tough. And of course, I'm sure he's training with Gianni Battone every day, because we know hammers come in pairs.
Yeah.
You got one, you got 2 eventually, because he's going to make whoever he's training with every day into another one. So those guys are tough. Over at Whale Branch, I believe St. James took the title over Beaufort. St. James is very good. We saw them at Shark Invitational, especially through the middle upper weights, like 65, 75, 90. They were absolute hammers through there. They beat Hardyville, like they beat us like 72-6 or something. Shout out to Josh Talafero. He went 5-0 for us at 106. So big day for him. Ty Gilliard, Demayan Gilliard, we call him Ty, on 150, got a huge win over Whale Branch. Rashawn Johnson Revere, who I believe is ranked 4th in 1A, 2A right now. Ty got him. He had lost to him a couple times. He pinned him in the first this time, so he was one of our hammers of the week. And then I got a story I'll share with you guys later, and I will leave names and weights out of it so no one is implicated, but it's an all-timer. I mean, every time you go to a wrestling tournament, you got a chance to see something you've never seen. It's an all-timer. We'll save that for the end of the show. So that'll be our moment is in. What else? I mean, that's where everybody was. Those two places, and then the JV middle school qualifier, which I think we can dedicate a little love to that event and the growth of it over the years, because I don't think there's been a single more important development as far as growing the sport in our state than adding that middle school and JV qualifying run leading up to the Carolina Invitational. You can get 15 matches, in the span of 3 weeks. And when we're talking about middle school, a lot of these kids are only getting 8 to 10 matches in the course of the regular season. So it's almost like wrestling a whole second season for them. And the good kids, I feel like, grow so much over these 1 or 2 or 3 weeks. No matter, I mean, everybody grows from it, but the ones who get to advance, it's a massive growth potential for them, because they get to see so many different kids of different calibers, and they get to see that they're better than they thought they were. When you throw them in the big pond, there's a lot more fish they can eat than they realized. But for the ones who have been beating everybody close by, just because their weight happens to be weak locally or whatever, they also get to see that there's some sharks out there. And that if you want to survive, you better learn how to swim a little bit faster. So, I mean, I hope you guys can speak to that too, because I think it's just massive for the development, especially the middle school kids. But we've all, at some point, well, at least I don't know about you guys, maybe you were better than me, but most of us have been the JV guy who grinds all year, goes to practice every day and gets hammered by the varsity guy and gets 5 matches all year. And it's like, man, where's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and you really have to grind for that. It's one of the beautiful things about the sport, but it's also true that you have to wrestle to get better. And so I think the opportunities we've created for these developing wrestlers, these novices, are just tremendous. And now I'll shut up and let you guys talk about it a little bit.
Well, nobody wants to go all season and not get to wrestle. They need the opportunity for the kids to stay in the program. If you're grinding it every day at practice and you never have an opportunity to get match time, you don't want to stay out there. Those kids will quit,
Getting your hand raised is the only thing that makes you keep coming back.
Right. I mean, you got to have goals, the goal is to get a medal. The goal is to get a win. The goal is to get a takedown, whatever your goal chart is that's sitting on your fridge or on your mirror in your bathroom that, we used to always stress, look, make goals. All right. Yeah. But you got to start out with that first goal, get a takedown, get a pin, get a win, build small and go bigger. And then obviously by the end of the season, your ultimate goal is to get that state title. So now if you're Bo Bassett, you're looking to get a world title. So you got to take it, in stride with where you're at in your life. Right. So, but I want to throw something out. There was a Jarrett, I believe, that walked away with a gold medal. Being a JV backup guy, he pulled out a gold medal this weekend. So congrats to him. So
there was, and quite frankly, the guy that he beat in the finals has been filling a varsity spot for most of the season. I think he's going to get squeezed out when people get down to their championship weights, But He's a guy that's wrestled a bunch of varsity matches for them, and we won an absolute dogfight. I mean, it looked like a college match, scoreless through one, because they both defended exceptionally well every time one of them tried something on offense. And then he went down. Sorry. We rode him out. We got a strange stall call 5 seconds after we had a cradle hooked up and couldn't get it to go. But I'm not saying, it was odd. It was a strange stalling warning with a few seconds left in the period. But we finished the ride out scoreless, and then we went under. And my goodness, we were almost out about 6 times, and just couldn't get away from him. And then finally, last 30 seconds, so we hit a great stand up. He dropped to a low ankle and hung on too long without doing anything, and he got hit. And then we went back to the center and we hit another beautiful stand up, and he did the same thing, and he hung on till time ran out, and he got hit again, and we won 1-0. But it was a battle. It was an absolute battle. And, when you win one like that, man, I'm seeing that guy next week and he's going to want me. You absolutely know that when you're at this stage. So no, it was awesome, man. He went 5-0, got 2 pins, and then a tech in the second, and then a 12-0, and then a 1-0.
Wow. Nice.
He gave up 3 points, and I would show you I'll send you the video and you tell me if it was 3 points, because it was a leverage situation where he went to his back and immediately hipped over and put the kid to his back, and we got a 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So if that's not supposed to be a takedown, then he did not get scored on in 5 matches.
Well, shoot it to me. I get video from all over the country where I'm evaluating or going into, something review wise.
No way, but I'll send it to you. And
okay,
yeah. I'm just curious, because if that wasn't a takedown, then we didn't allow a point in 5 matches, and that's
I can also use that as a learning tool for the officials. So when I get that, I can go, hey, I got this video clip, and sometimes it's guys in the state, they'll send me the clip and say, okay, what was I right with this call, or was it not right? So I can always use that as a tool also to reach out to the official and say, hey, you might want to adjust your thinking. So
on that subject, I wonder if this is something that's already come up, and if not, maybe I can put it into the atmosphere, especially if Rob agrees with me. I do believe, just from anecdotal evidence, that we need to be a little more conservative about awarding 3, because it's now 3 instead of 2. It is a big difference if you award that quick 3 and then immediately a 2 for a reversal, in a leverage situation. I think we got to be pull the reins a little bit on awarding that 3, and just make sure, with it now being a little bit of an unbalanced situation scoring wise.
Well, the phrase we use is let it burn. Don't be so quick to award, especially since Funk Wrestling came in. You can't be quick. We don't have riding time in high school, so don't be so quick to throw the takedown. Let it settle, aka let it burn. That we aren't throwing a 3 and a 2 when it should have just been a 3. We were in the semifinals at Reno back right before Christmas. I was out there, and newer ref, younger guy. And I was put with him to kind of help keep an eye on him. And we're in the semis, and he throws 3 red, 2 green, 1 red. And it was all in the span of about 9 seconds. Ooh. And so after the situation settled and they were back up on their feet, I said, hey, stop. I went over to talk to him. I said, look, that wasn't 3 red, 2 green, 1 red. That should have been 3 green, 1 red. And so I went to the center, stood with the 2 wrestlers, and he went over to the table to change the score, and brought both coaches in and talked to them. And neither coach balked on it. I mean, they both knew that shouldn't have been a takedown initially. So the score was changed to 3 green, 1 red, as it should have been. So as more seasoned officials, we have to step in and help those guys out. But that kid needed to get the heat in the semifinal with those coaches on his back, about that kind of thing. Coaches tend to sometimes just they need that W. They want to win. And they don't think about the growth of the official that's also out there. And that guy needs some heat, but we can't go so much to run them off, because we need, no offense, we're getting older.
Right.
We need those younger guys. And if those guys run them off, well, we're getting to the point where in Beaufort County, y'all know, on Wednesday night, if you try to run everything, y'all are bringing in guys from Charleston and having to pay their mileage because we just don't have enough people. But it's that way from coast to coast. We don't have enough guys, and the guys we do have are all aging out. So
yeah, I'm eager to see new guys and let them grow through it, but the atmosphere that you're describing there is not always the atmosphere we run into at our level. We don't have a veteran official standing around doing nothing, to just watching wrestling, to go, hey, hold on, and then have a civil dispute at the table. We have some really thin-skinned guys who have been doing this a long time who can't be told they're wrong, or they'll throw you out of the building. And so it would be very difficult with many of the refs that we know and love so well to call them to the table and have a conversation, and the coaches too, some of the coaches, to have a civil conversation where we get it right and everybody be happy. That happens at the college level. It maybe doesn't happen as much at our level, but it would, in a perfect world, it would. We do love officials. We know and love them. We get very frustrated with some of them, but we do love them. We appreciate them. We know that we can't do it without them.
Well, it's a three-legged table. Our sports it's a three-legged table. You got to have wrestlers, you got to have coaches, and you got to have referees. And if you lose any one of those legs, well, the table falls over. Yeah, right. So we got to have everybody in the group working together. And I know, as a former coach, I want to get the win, and I'm going to get on the referee if I feel like he was part of the cause. But yesterday, my son Ty, you guys all know him, he was calling a match, and the coaches probably got a little out of line because they used his name. And, oh, come on, Ty. Come on, Ty. Yeah. Well, I'm going to hit you for unsportsmanlike immediately if you use my name in that situation. Now, if you want to call me to the table and we'll talk about it.
It's a privilege to call me by name, and I don't need everybody in the gym to know it. Thank you very much.
Right. And so, I couldn't, I was off, but I couldn't step in because that's something that he, as a referee, has got to get used to. Yeah. He's got to understand that, he's got to handle that. So I didn't say anything. I didn't step forward. After the duel was over, we talked about it. And I said, if it were me and they call me by name, I'm going to pop them immediately for the unsportsmanlike conduct. Hey, ref, that was a horrible call. Or, okay, but come on, George, that sucked. No, we're not doing that. So understand, we're human. We're going to screw up. We might miss a call, but we're trying to do the best we can. And you being, pardon my French, an asshole in the corner, it doesn't work out well. And let me tell you, my name is Dixon. I got Dick in my name. And if you're being an asshole, you're getting screwed. So understand that is how it's going to work. Right? So
we're going to clip that one. Clip that.
I could have went with a different verbiage. I was nice. Said you're getting screwed.
AI will automatically make a clip if I say clip that during the broadcast. So we're going to test it on that one if I remember to say it. But that is a great line and sums up. This will be a great educational piece for many wrestling coaches to stay out of trouble and avoid this.
Right.
So we got to be careful about dishing those out too, because I saw one dished out on the second match of the night on Friday for just asking a man a very fair question. I'll send you the video of that one too, because we had about a 30-second cradle, and we had one swipe. And I'm trying to figure out how that occurred. But in fact, for about 5 seconds, he was stacked straight up on his shoulders with his butt pointing toward the ceiling, and we still only got one swipe. So I'm very curious about that one. Maynard, I know you had a good dispute. Well, you had somebody mad at your table anyway, wanted to talk to you, and you ain't have nothing to do with the refereeing. And in fact, the tournament director was doing the refereeing at the time, with Mike Newton. But I thought of that because I saw Patrick Boulware chime in with stalling. There was, and I don't know the whole situation. I missed it. I was told about it. I know it was 10-9, I want to say, and they were in neutral, and one guy had not been warned for stalling, and he took off, and he got warned, but then it wasn't enough time to hit him again. And sometimes it is what it is. If you worked hard enough the whole match and you find yourself in that situation, and you got enough time to play that game, you play that game. But no, that was pretty heated for a minute. My guy, I'll leave games out of it.
There was a couple people that came up to the table talking about it and complaining about it. And, I said, look, I'm just running the computer. I'm just entering results. I don't oversee the officials. I said, go. Actually, it's funny because I said, hey, go talk to the tournament director. Lo and behold, well, he's the guy that was the referee in the match. So, yeah, I mean, we run into those situations all the time. And, I'm honest with people. It's like, hey, talk to the tournament director. I'm just the manager. I'm just running this thing. I don't have any control over any of that stuff. So it happens, and it's understandable, especially in a qualifying situation where, hey, if this kid, now I think it was a first place match, so I think the kid was going to qualify either way, but you can definitely understand because that does affect their seeding right at the next round and where they're going to be in the bracket. So, I can definitely see why that would make a difference, obviously, but in the end, the kid still is going to qualify with that. But look, at the kid hasn't been hit. He hasn't been hit. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean,
you worked the whole match and didn't get hit. You earned the benefit of being able to. You got one to give. You got a foul to give, man. Like you're a fool if you leave it on the table.
Yeah,
you just run away from that, man, and make that ref hold his hand up and start you back in the center. That was my philosophy. But I also understand as a coach, I probably would have been up in arms too.
Oh yeah. For sure.
If it was the other guy that was running away from us at the end, more than anything, I would have been like, "Dang it, come on, man! Why didn't you start the action earlier? Like why didn't we get after him with 30 to go instead of with 10 to go?
Yeah,
like that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to: is win anyway. Do what you have to do to win the match. Don't let it come down to the last 10 seconds with no stall calls.
Well, the one you're speaking of, I actually have received video on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was stalling. The argument from the coach was that it was the second stalling and not the first. So I don't know anything about that. Do I agree? Do I agree with the stall call? Yes, he was avoiding wrestling, and yes, he needed to be hit for stalling, but I don't have the rest of the match. I don't know that he was ever hit for stalling any other time in the match. Right. He was hit at that point, and it was a righteous call. It was a stalling. So I also talked to that referee that was on the mat, and the referee said it was the first stall. Yeah. And he said it would be kind of hard to get two stalls in 5 seconds. And I said to him, yeah, it's possible, because if you back straight out, there's 5 seconds on the clock. It takes 2 seconds to back out of bounds. You back straight out. That's a back out stalling. You come back in, you got 3 seconds to go. You back straight out again. That's again a back out stalling. So I'm gonna do a quick explanation for everybody out there in the wrestling world, and everybody at Bluffton. All the coaches and wrestlers heard that this weekend. Traditional stalling is when you're outworking your opponent. Means you're taking more shots, you're on top working the turn, and the kid's laying there, or you're on bottom trying to build and get out, and the guy's just hanging on riding you. Right. That is traditional stalling. Okay, yeah, you're outworking your opponent. Neutral boundary stalling is not the same thing. Neutral boundary stalling, we have to determine as the referee, A, how did the action get to the edge? And B, if we go out of bounds, which wrestler caused that stoppage and caused us to blow our whistle?
It's more or less to delay a game.
Yeah, more or less. All right. So, Rob, did you hear that this weekend? Did you hear that verbiage?
Yeah, I did, and that kind of comes in with the, is he pushing me out, or am I making an attempt to circle in?
Right.
So
look, if your butt goes straight out from your line out the back, then you're getting hit.
You're getting popped.
Yeah.
What is the penalty for stalling? That is a great question from a wrestling neophyte here, Max Araj, that one of our team Lowco guys that's new to the sport and trying to get into it. So the penalty for stalling, we'll let George tell you. He's the
first penalty is a warning, and if the ref's doing his job, he's going to say, "Hey, Green, that's your first warning for stalling. You just got hit for stalling." He'll let him know. The coach might yell it from the corner, but I'm also going to tell the kid as he comes back to center, "Hey, that's your first stalling, Green." Then
usually
the second stalling,
a brief explanation of you got to get off his hips or you got to stay off that.
Right, and I'm going to throw that in. When action's in progress, I can't go directly at the kid, green or red, and tell him that. But once I blow the whistle to stop action, I can explain that stalemate's on you. That potentially dangerous is on you because, or you got the stalling because you were riding the hips, or you backed out of bounds, or whatever it may be. The second stall is a 1 point. The third stall is 1 point. The fourth stall is 2 points, and the opponent gets a choice of position. I think I had 2 of those yesterday, maybe 3, that the kid got choice. One of them was, I think, Butler from May River. Was 50, what is he, a 50-pounder?
57.
Yeah. Okay, 57. So, yeah, he had, I think it was a Stratford kid. It may, I don't know, may have been Hanahan. Either way. But, yeah, he had the 2 point stall, and he got choice. He chose bottom. There was like 10 seconds left in the period, and he didn't get out, but he took a chance to try to get an extra point. But so that's your penalty sequence. You get a warning, a 1, a 2, and you get a choice. And the last one, you're DQ'd.
Muerte. Ball game. Which clearly at that point you didn't want to wrestle, so we're just going to end it.
Yeah.
We're just going to call it call game. Yeah. So yeah, great question. Great answer. Patrick Boulware is going to the next level with it, though. He wants to bring in passivity and a shot clock and a step out rule. He wants to go the whole 9 yards. I don't know if we're ready for that in South Carolina high school just yet.
Well, I don't think we need the step out rule. If the referees are calling stalling on the boundary the way they're supposed to, you don't need the step out rule because you got a stalling and then stalling 1. The only difference is you get the penalty immediately as opposed to you get 1 warning.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, that's a little complicated for where we are as a wrestling culture in South Carolina at this time. We're doing well if we got the clock working and the score's right. All right. The clocks have been a nightmare for me this week. I don't know. Wednesday at where are we at Wednesday? At your place.
You were at our place, yeah.
Yeah, we had some clock issues there. Just they were probably gremlins, tech gremlins, and not doing what you told it to do. But they had to honk the horn a couple times because the ref got it going before they got the clock ready to go. But
yeah, we were scrapping
the other
some
one is
young ones.
Clock's getting unplugged at tournaments because people keep walking where they ain't supposed to walk, where the plugs are going. So stop walking where you ain't supposed to walk. Right, Maynard?
Yeah. I mean, especially we've had issues before where clocks will go down during a tournament, and that that can really delay some things and mess some stuff up, especially in the middle of a heated match.
Yeah.
Which, all of a sudden the clock goes out and, hopefully, and hopefully you have a referee.
You love to hear that, don't you, George? How do you handle that, George? Are you running a watch?
No, but I think we had one. I think it was at your place Wednesday, where it didn't start.
That wasn't 2 minutes.
But it was a pin, and it was definitely within 2 minutes. and it was probably like 45 seconds to a minute. But everybody's yelling clock. Well, the guy's got him on his back. I'm not taking him off his back, right?
No, you did the right thing.
So I kind of have an idea where I'm at in the match, but by rule, we are allowed to adjust the clock. So say I started the match, the clock didn't start. And then they're all yelling clock, clock, clock. Okay, I blow the whistle, I stop it, I go over to the table. Okay, should have been about 15 seconds, 20 seconds. We can adjust the clock accordingly by what we feel, or I might bring both coaches in. What do you think, coaches? 20 seconds, 25 seconds? You know, what do you think should have run off? And whatever the consensus is, that's what we'll go with. But yeah, we can adjust the clock as the official with what we think the time should have been.
Yeah. All right. Good explanation there as well. John Rutherford, our old friend. I call him Alan.
Hey, Rutherford.
He says Mr. Official Hall of Famer George Dixon for president. I get behind it. I'm in. You know, I don't think we want to go through all that though. They're going to drag your name through the mud. That's what
for no reason. Yeah, I get my name drugged through enough. So
yeah, exactly. Ashley Powell, our wonderful coach in May River High School. The stalling that he always questions is when person A gets an escape on the out of bounds line, and immediately after he cuts, he's standing out of bounds, and then B shoots on him, and A gets the stalling. That shouldn't happen, should it?
Okay, so I know exactly what AP is going on that one.
Are you saying this may be not a hypothetical?
That's not a hypothetical. It was a situation that happened, and I know he's seen me call no call on that multiple times, and the referee did call that as a stalling. If the kid's kind of already standing out of bounds or on the line, typically you're not going to hit the stall there. The stall was hit, and the referee was talked to about that particular situation.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. Because yeah, I mean, what are you going to do there? Like,
right, you're already on the line, or out of bounds. So yeah, you're not going to typically hit the kid in that situation, unless he just jumps back and kind of runs, But
I will back up one step though and point out that one element of that boundary stalling rule that you pointed out to us is you have to determine how you got to the boundary. So if the bottom man came up running to the boundary, then that's a different situation than if they naturally worked there or if the top man pushed him there. So
and that's again
that determination, right?
Right. And that's a lot of things we have to factor into that most of the time the coaches aren't thinking. I love you guys as coaches, but your rose-colored glasses for your particular wrestler, your time, your effort, the blood and sweat and tears of getting that kid to that point he's at. Wonderful, and we appreciate that. Again, that one table of one leg of the third of the table. But we've got a lot of determining factors to decide how we got, where we got, that sort of thing. So yeah, I get it. But yeah, AP, I did have a chat with that official. So we did.
I wanted to point out that that he wasn't talking about a specific situation. He's not mad at anyone. That's just one that he happens to disagree philosophically with it. But he says this is why you get the big money and the best hospitality room food, and he loves all of you. So regardless of what you hear him say on Wednesdays or Saturdays, Ashley Powell loves officials, and he appreciates all of you.
Well, we love AP, and AP knows exactly what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. So, and we're on the same page, and so not busting anybody out here on the show, as I never do with any official. I will talk about the situations and things that could have been done one way or another, but no, that's it
is a very hard job. It is a very hard job, especially. I mean, it's not the best working conditions either. Let's be honest. It was about 1,000,000 degrees in the main gym at Hilton Head Friday and Saturday, and you're cranking out like 40 matches without a break. Maynard has rejoined us on a new device. He ran out of power. What's up, buddy? but no, it's not the greatest working conditions. It's loud. People are yelling at you. And you guys do the best you can. And some of you have been doing it for a very long time. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, your faculties start to go at a certain age.
So
I know this. I'm only 47, and all of my faculties have started to slide downhill for a while now. So I know when I get to some of those guys' age, I'm not going to be cut out for it.
Well, talking about something earlier, and you're talking about Hilton Head that was very warm there. I heard from multiple different people that it was very warm, and to the fact that on Friday night that Newton did have to step in and referee a little bit just to give a couple of breaks to guys because it was so hot and give them an opportunity to get a little water or catch a break. And then obviously the other side of that,
degrees cooler.
Yeah. So the other part of that was, again, we don't have enough officials. And so Newton actually officiated all day on Saturday because instead of being 5-on-5 like it was Friday, we only had 4-on-5. So Newton had to step in to be that fifth guy, to make it a 5-on-5. Just, again, we don't have enough people when there's so much stuff going on.
Yeah. So if you know and love the sport and you've been looking for your way to give back, I promise you, we need officials. Go get certified. Come out and watch great wrestling a couple nights a week and put a little pocket change, and a little cash in your pocket. So, because we need you out here, and there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, gosh, you could work a match bout every night if you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yeah, I've got Monday through Saturday with only Thursday off this week.
Jeez, where are you going this week?
I'm at Bluffton on Monday. I've got JP2 on Tuesday. I'm in Savannah on Wednesday. Thursday's off, and then Friday, I think I'm in Savannah again, and then Saturday at JP2 for the Warrior Duels.
All right. There you go. That is a busy week. Hardyville will be at the Warrior Duels. Did you say Hardyville on Wednesday? You coming to us?
No, I'm in Savannah, somewhere in Savannah on I think Benedictine maybe on Wednesday.
We got Savannah Christian and Burke coming in for senior night, and we may have about 3 new seniors by Wednesday if all goes well. Fill some of those upper weights because I had a couple new guys at practice last week. And I got one who's supposed to join on Monday that would fill 3 vacant weights for us in the upper weights, and pretty excited. One dude had
good
2
luck.
really good days of practice to start off. He's a bulky dude, but he's a soccer player, so he can move. And then another dude had a good day of practice, and then the third one I ain't seen him play yet, but he's a soccer player. He's rock solid, and he weighs the right amount. And that's sometimes all that you need, right, Coach Michelucci?
Yeah,
how much you weigh, man? Hey, buddy, how much you weigh?
Hey, it was kind of fate, wasn't it, that we bumped into each other this whole way? I think he's come out for wrestling, man.
Right? Why do you think God led you to my class today, son, and made you weigh 175 pounds? You just happened to be sending a girl out to fight.
I looked this whole hallway. You're the only 175 in this whole building, man. It must be. You got to come out.
There's 100 175s out of 305 children in my school, and not one of them wants to wrestle. Everybody weighs 175 pounds, and not one of them wants to wrestle. No, that's not true, but there are quite a few that I've worked hard on to no avail. But I may have cashed in one. These kids from ACE came back for their last semester of their senior year, and they already been working. They've been going to school where it's work. And they're into the idea of this, the idea of doing this for a semester or for a month instead of working sounds appealing to them. So we're going to try to lean into that and get us some big boys and fill out the lineup and make a little run. Speaking of which, we may have a shot at making a little run because it sounds like we may have the magic number of 12 1A teams committed for a dual playoff, which would allow us to separate from 2A and have a fair fight in the dual playoffs, which would be just tremendous for us small schools to get more matches in that postseason run and be able to get into some dogfights. But George, are you hearing the same, that it sounds like we're going to hit that?
I knew they were getting close on the numbers, and being able to do that with the 1A, and then also with the girls, they were just 4 or 5 teams short on being able to do 2 girls divisions as well.
Oh,
and Rob,
okay.
if that's your, you're moving in, that may help the girls number. So.
Yeah, we were thinking, like I was saying before, we started off with only a couple girls, but I recruited one in the hallway, and then that one recruited another one, and just trying to push a little advocacy for them to pioneer for their program. And, so we got it. Well,
Tilly recruited the rest, right?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, she's a big advocate, leader in the room there. So we're thinking about jumping on, and if go ahead, man.
I just got to say, Tilly is one of my let's call her my ambassador of the week for girls wrestling. She is just tremendous. Her energy is infectious. She's everybody's friend in the gym. She's connecting people. She's making friends all over the place, and she coaches the heck out of her teammates and her friends, and even our girls. She's kind of taken our girls under her wing, even though she's younger than all of them or most of them. She's only a freshman, but she carries herself like a junior or senior as far as the maturity and the leadership aspect goes. And I've just fallen in love with that kid. I mean, I root so hard for her when she's wrestling. I know she's beaten a few boys this year, including some pretty good boys, including a boy that we watched our varsity 32 get dog walked by and yours nearly lose to. She's just an inspiration to me, and I think a great poster child almost for girls wrestling in this area. And there are others too. It's not just her. Michaela Henchy at Hilton Head is a great ambassador for girls wrestling. Obviously Zeo Estrada was the first one that kind of made it cool to be a girl and wrestle here in the Low Country. And then you had Jada Lawrence at Bluffton, who's now wrestling for Columbia University. I mean, when we talk about leveraging your athletic abilities into educational opportunities, that one hit it out of the ballpark. She's at an Ivy League school wrestling. And there were others. Siobhan Rogers from Bluffton was a pioneer. You had one at Battery Creek who was a pioneer, who I'm trying to think of now what her name was. She was one of the first, and she was pretty good. But there have been quite a few, but it was always like one here, one there. And now you're seeing whole teams sprout up. You're seeing middle school teams that have 6 or 8 or 10 girls entered this weekend. You got a good one over at Robert Small's, buddy. What's her name? So
Summer?
No, Samala.
Yes, yeah. And that's Nate and Ricky's little sister coming up too.
Really?
So, yeah. So,
well, I think she and one of my little middle school wrestlers became quite friendly over the weekend. They had already met on social media, and they met in person and seemed to hit it off. So,
who's the girl at Ladies Island? Is it Summer?
Oh, Summer.
Australia.
Yeah, you can't leave her out of the conversation. She didn't even enter this weekend because she knew she would take a spot from a boy, and she didn't want to do that because she's going to Gilbert for the girls' championship.
Yeah,
but I got a ton of credit for that. And her mom, people know better. Her name's Macy Estrella, but most people probably know her better as Lacey Evans of WWE fame, hailing from Paris Island, South Carolina. And her dad, Fonz, he knows the sport exceptionally well. He's trained Summer a lot. She goes to the Foundry.
They were part of the Bull Sharks for a little bit too.
Yeah, good stuff. I got to cover her amateur MMA debut when she was just a precious little 12-year-old and nearly broke a little girl's arm before she tapped out in an arm flyer. It was wicked. She's a mean chick, man. It's fun to watch her wrestle. And she was bopping around there, just cute as could be.
But they're both so nice. But her Summer and her mom are so nice. I mean, they're good people.
So Fonzie, I mean, they're just wonderful people and just delightful, kind, happy people. But they're like tremendous competitors.
Absolutely.
And they're the embodiment of what I know. I say it to my kids all the time, and you probably do too, Rob. Like I say to a lot of kids, like, "Hey, man, I know you're a nice kid. Like you're a sweet kid. You're sensitive. You're kind. I am all those things too. Okay, but when you walk across that line into that circle, there's no time for that. We are there to compete in hand-to-hand combat, and you have my permission to be the meanest, craziest person. I don't always say person in the room. All right, like get out there and become an animal, become a different person. And you know, I mean, I think when you see that click for kids is when they start to really get it. And usually it comes when they win that first match, when they get into a leverage situation, and instead of panicking, they let the instincts take over, and they win that leverage situation. They win that scramble, and they put them on their back and they pin them, and they go, whoa, I went to a different place than I've never gone before. I was a different person wrestling just now. Yeah, that's the person you have to be when you wrestle. And so once they figure that out, that you can turn that switch on and off, then they really grow with the sport. And some of them just don't have that, you know, I mean, and that's okay. You see kids that they struggle through the year and maybe a couple years, and they win some, but they don't have that aggressiveness quite in them, and that's okay too. But it's our job to try to coax it out of them if we can, and then tame that dog to stay in that cage and turn it off when you get over here and be friends with the guy you just wrestled, right?
We were just on the youth level. We were just at a tournament today with the Bull Sharks, and man, that's one of the things we're trying to teach them, you know. And sometimes it's that aggression could just win a match there, you know. And you know, so
just being the one who wants it a little bit more. And it's funny too, because you watch the kids, and I mean, our heavyweight, the big chorizo, Jose Chavez Garcia, that man had 15 guys in his bracket, I think. He was friends with every one of them before they wrestled a match on Saturday. Like, he had gone and talked to them all. He knew how much they weighed. He went and found the two biggest, baddest dudes in the room, the Hulk and Hulk's cousin, and he warmed up with them before the match. He said, hey, I don't have any big guys on my team. Can I warm up with you guys? And they said, yeah, sure. And they went and rolled around and made friends and talked to each other all day. And then end of the day came, and it was the Hulk and the big chorizo in the big showdown, and the Hulk got him. But we can't wait to see him on Saturday. You know, they hugged it out about 6 or 7 times because Jose leads the world in post-match hugs. He hugs everybody, win or lose, usually several times. And they, man, they had a little chat after over off to the side, like, hey, man, I'll see you at Somerville next week. And it was just beautiful. It's just, my heart was happy after Friday and Saturday, man. Just seeing so many kids, boys and girls out there grinding, win or lose, you know, just getting back up and going again. And it was some great competition, and just makes me really excited about what's coming down the pike in the future, the sheer number of kids. So
hey, Justin, you brought up Jada a second ago. So ironically, she's going to be making an appearance tomorrow night at our match against Buford. George will be their referee, and George, it's going to be funny because you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. I got about 25 former Bobcats coming back tomorrow night to watch the a match.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, trying to put together a little alumni kind of thing. I'd like to make it an annual thing. And Coach Nutter's really excited because he doesn't know a lot of them. So we're talking about Tyler Rosenleaves, David Lopez's, guys like that some of them haven't been back maybe since they even graduated. So we got about 25 of them from back in the, you know, the Holman era, up through, Slaughter, me, and then now with Nutter, he's got. It's gonna be pretty cool to see those guys in the gym tomorrow night. So
that's phenomenal.
Looking forward to it. Yeah,
I love that. And Jada coming back.
Well, I'm gonna merely be an assistant. It's not my match tomorrow. It's Ty's match.
Oh, okay.
And so Ty said, "Hey, Dad, since it's, as you said, alumni night, they're bringing back all these people. So why don't you come in and assist?" And it's going to be a lot of fun. It'd be, good match. Okay. So I actually had the night off. I'm going in to hang out with my child, let him referee. I'm going to assist, and we're going to have fun with it, and you guys will have fun with it, and it will be great to see some of the old faces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you guys were talking about this weekend. That's one of you asked about looking at numbers wise. So just to give you a little idea, we had Friday night about 170 wrestlers. There's 240-ish matches Friday night at Hilton Head, and 30 Beaufort County wrestlers made it to Somerville next week for the JV side. And then on Saturday, we had about 270-ish wrestlers there, 424 matches on Saturday. Beaufort County is sending 32 middle school kids up to Somerville for the sectional next weekend. So pretty well represented. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. I got the qualifiers in front of me. We'll at least go through the champs. May Rivers, Miles DeGraffenried, JV champ at 106. He's seen some varsity time this year, but there's no place for him to go in the varsity tournament, so he's got to go that route. Same for Cooper Stanak from May River. He won at 113. My guy, Truman Jarrett, the champ at 120. We just went to 120 this week. We've been 126 all year, and we were going to stay there because we're trying to gain weight for baseball. But then he came home Monday and said, Dad, I was 121 after practice. I got to go to 120, right? And I said, damn right. I mean, yes, you got to. So we did that, and that worked out. Not a champ, but Jack Nutter, my guy from Bluffton. Love that kid. Second place at 126. I said, did you win it? He goes, nah. That kid kind of looked like a nerd, but he was real good.
It's funny.
And I thought, well, Jack, you kind of look like a nerd too, but you're real good too. I mean, that's kind of one of the beautiful things about our sport is you can be a nerd and still be good at it, or at least look like one before the match. And sometimes that's a great intimidation factor. We got kind of shut out of it at 32 and 38. Ashley Ridge had an army of dudes, as did Somerville. They won at 44 and 50. Miller McGee from May River with a third place at 50, solid. Man, Somerville, 40, Somerville. Lorenzo Magliaro from May River, second at 175, so he was a finalist, as was Quentin Carter from Bluffton. Funny story about Quentin Carter. George, you know this one. You're part of this one. Last 2 years, I was coaching wrestling at McCracken, and I knew there was a big strapping lad there named Quentin Carter that I had coached many years ago when we started the Low Country Wrestling Club, and he was a horse back then. And I'd seen him grow over the years, and I thought, my goodness, that gentleman's going to be a tremendous wrestler. So imagine my surprise to learn that Quentin Carter had tried out for and made the basketball team, where, the world needs guys who get 5 rebounds and 5 fouls, but let's be real, that was going to be his role on that basketball team. He was a big brute. And wrestler. He was a wrestler. I mean, there's no doubt. And I told him that every day that I saw him for 2 years. And he was a good contributor on that basketball team. He became a good middle school basketball player. And I told him he would. And I also told him, but when you get to high school, you're going to be a wrestler. So what are you doing, man? What are you doing? So Friday night, I said, how'd you do, Quentin? He said, second place. And I said, man, that's awesome. Second place. Guess what? If you'd wrestled the last 2 years, you definitely would have got first, or you would have been varsity right now. And he goes, you're right. You're right. And I said, Quentin, you have no idea how happy it makes my heart to just hear you say, you were right. You were right.
It's funny because I'm coaching him in football, at McCracken for the 7th and 8th grade year. And I always, pull all right, guys. So football's ended. You need to, get involved, whether it be with basketball or wrestling, or get in the gym, and try to work out somewhere. But I try to pull those guys toward wrestling, and he was that kid. No, I'm gonna wrestle when I get to high school, but I'm gonna play basketball in middle school. Like, well, if you're gonna wrestle in high school, what in the world are you thinking? So that kind of thing. And so I was right there with you on that.
That's the only reason I'll publicly shame him in this space. But and I know that his parents fully support me publicly shaming him for this particular issue. But back on track, Nathan Fulton, my guy, May River. taking the title at 215 over teammate Noah Edey. And then 285. Here's one we know and love too. Carmelo Williams from Bluffton. Man, I've been watching this kid since he was in 7th grade and going, boy, if Carmelo ever figures it all out, if Carmelo can keep his head on straight and Carmelo can really keep his nose to the grindstone, there is no hill that guy can't climb. And it looks like he's really starting to grow into a tremendous athlete, both on the football field and on the wrestling mat, as I expected. And shout out to him for a heavyweight title at JV this week. You know Carmelo very well, Brian?
A little bit, seeing him around the school. I haven't had him in class or anything, but I remember watching him a little bit last year, and then seeing him. Actually had a class across the hall for me first semester this year. But as far as I know, seems like a pretty good, solid kid, and looks like he's going to be the next heir apparent at heavyweight. We've had. We've had a good run over the years. I mean, all the way back to the Philip Scotts of the world, and then Bradley Denmark more recently. Maybe he's going to be the next big good Bluffton heavyweight. Who knows? We'll see.
Philip and Steven Scott, they were in the room when I came in and made my my cameo one week back in I want to say 06 or 07. Early in my tenure at the Island Packet, I spent a week practicing with the Bobcats. I was very out of shape at the time. And I spent a week in their room practicing with Holman's team. And I wrote an article about it for the paper called I Bobcat. I'd have to look that one up. That was some funny stuff. My wife told me I looked decrepit when I came home from practice, and I felt worse than that. Whatever worse than that was. It was awful. But no, those were good times. I saw Holman this weekend and got to swap stories with him a little bit and show him a picture of Truman with his gold medal and stuff. That was pretty cool because Holman and I had a great relationship when I first got here, because there was only a couple big wrestling people around here. It was Holman, it was Newton, and that was, it was George. Like, that's about it. And then whoever's dad, was good at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Levy's, Mr. James Levy or whoever was coming through, but there were just not a lot of people to talk wrestling with. So Holman and I, we talked wrestling a ton. And spent a lot of time together. So it's good to see him again.
Yeah, I know what it's like to spend a lot of time with him, so.
I mean, maybe a little time's better than a lot of time.
No, I'd say, it was probably the best. Probably would have more hair had I not been his assistant for 9 years, but, it was really, for me as a wrestling guy, coming from Pennsylvania, it was instant, we clicked instantly because we're both from right down the road from each other up in Pittsburgh area. So it was, pretty cool right away to, have somebody that knew the sport and also the area you came from. So it was awesome. And sometimes at the tournaments he'll come especially they're Hilton Head, he'll relieve me a little bit while I have to go run around, and he'll enter some, results for me and stuff like that. So it's always good to have him around too for that stuff.
All right, I got our middle school champs pulled up here as well. 80 pounds, we had a runner-up, AJ Dyer from River Ridge. Man, I love an 80-pound match. Those are so fun to watch. Christopher Fontana from Hilton Head, little hammer in training, won it at 88. Andrew Siegfried from Oak Brook. Rob, Siegfried, the 106 from 4D.
Yeah.
Really strong, lanky kid. He's tough. This must be his little brother.
That's gotta be
26. He beat Jackson and Ryan from Hilton Head. Hilton Head also got third there, and Mila Perez fourth in the boys division. Good job, Mila. She's a dog from McCracken. Nico from Bridges.
Let's go,
Prep.
Nico, baby.
Jack Duncan from JP2 in the finals of 102. I love freaking Nico, man.
Yeah, I love Nico, man. He's part of the Bull Sharks, man. So gotta love him.
He's his family is tremendous. They really they're one of the ones I was talking about that has so much love for our guy Esteban and really took him under their wing this weekend. And
their family is phenomenal, man. Blessed to be a part of them, man.
Yeah, no question. I love Nico. I asked him, I said, Nico, what's your record this year? Undefeated? He goes, team or club, school or club? And I said, school. And he goes, yeah. And I said, how many losses you got in club? And he goes, 2. And I said, did you get revenge on both of them yet? And he goes, 1. And I said, who's the one you still got to get your get back on? I bet you know his name. And he goes, yeah, you know, is it Tristan Waters or something?
Yes, yeah, that's it.
He goes, you know Tristan Waters? And I was like, nah. And he goes, he's from Georgia. And I was like, whip his ass next time. And he goes, bet.
yeah. He came in. He came in the next week and his hand like bandaged up. And man, what happened? I didn't. Yeah, Tristan Waters, man, and like with his face, like I'm gonna get him next time, man. Like,
superhero origin story.
You remember that?
I love it. Camden Russell from Bridges Prep, winning it at 108 over Everett Thiessen from JP2. Nick Kessinger from JP2 won it at 114 over Jackson Lawton from Somerville, East Edisto rather. East Edisto had a program, man. They got a bunch of we kind of got left out of it at 120, although Trent Lazar, our guy from McCracken, got third. He did lose 1, but he came back and got third, which is always a hard thing to do, man. When you plan on getting gold and you lose 1, it's hard to bounce back and get through those consies and get back to third. So credit to him for the mental toughness there. Mateo Rueda from River Ridge won it at 126. We knew his brother Santiago very well at May River, state champ over there, and now coaching his little brother at River Ridge, which we love to see. Estevan Cortez from Hardyville with the championship at 135. Pinned his guy in the finals. Tough kid, caught him in a leverage situation and pinned him. But had a good tournament there. Robert Smalls got one. Nick Lands at 145. He beat our guy. He beat a good kid from Bluffton too. He's a good kid, huh, Nick?
Yeah, he's got some potential,
you know
man.
Him?
Yeah. He came up and practiced a couple of days with us early in the season. He looks like a dog, man. He's an athlete for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of a long, lanky guy, but strong, good leverage. I think if he's the guy I'm thinking of, he's tough. And then 158, we got left out of that one. Our top placer was Jake Fizzerati from Bluffton, going to Somerville. Top 5 go to Somerville, by the way. Mateo Magliaro must be a younger brother to Lorenzo from May River. He's at Bluffton Middle, and he took second at 175. 205. We had Darius Smith coming in 4th from Bluffton Middle. And then 285, that's where Zion Solomon, the Hulk, defeated the big chorizo, Jose Chavez Garcia.
I love the names.
Your guy, Jaden Fields, also coming in 4th from Robert Smalls. So good job there. But yeah, a bunch of kids, as Maynard told us, heading to Somerville next weekend for the coastal sectional. That'll be top 5 from each of 3 areas in one bracket. So it's going to be a grind. You're going to have to win 4 to win gold, or to win third, I guess. Maybe 5 to win third, depending on when you lose. So, and where that bye ends up falling, I guess. But that's a long day, man. I think we're weighing in crack of dawn and starting wrestling at like 8 o'clock. So we're talking about a hotel, maybe even for this one, since we only have 2 kids. But I got to see my boy Jerry, Rob. He's Jerry's doing a great job.
I love Jerry.
He's a whirling dervish, as he always is, but he's running from gym to gym, trying to get to his kids. But man, those kids love and respect him, and will run through a wall for him, and he does a lot for them. So
man, he loves the kids, man. He loves the sport. He brings a lot of energy, man. So he's a good guy all around.
Got the cowboy hat.
That's it, man. You know,
he runs hot. Hot. He's very passionate about fighting for his kids. So, but man, I just want to say again, as I often do, what an awesome community we have. The wrestling community in South Carolina is really like nothing else I've really been a part of, as far as the true like camaraderie and in it together spirit of all of it. I mean, everybody is really pulling for everybody to get better and for more opportunity and to better recognize their best kids and get them, the training they need to go on and expand beyond the borders of this state, where wrestling is not what it is in a lot of other places. But there's a lot of good people who are really working hard to build it up and pouring into kids that a lot of more seasoned coaches probably wouldn't have the time for. You know, I mean, let's be real. Coaching novices is hard and frustrating and, you know, just draining but it's also incredibly rewarding because, you know, that those kids are getting their first win or, you know, their first medal, or just in a lot of cases, it's the first time they've really had a measure of success in any athletic endeavor. You know, I mean, a tangible reward that they earned from playing a sport. And man, I know for me, and I'm sure for you guys too, that went a long way in developing me as a young person, just having something to strive for week after week and having hills to try to climb every week. That guy that beats you every weekend and you're trying to get him one time, that your Tristan Waters, whoever your Tristan Waters was, your boogeyman, as the Butler boys call him. You know, just chasing that boogeyman will get you a long ways in life. You can go a long way chasing that boogeyman. And I just love introducing kids to the sport and seeing them fall in love with it and seeing them grind and get better and seeing the better person that it makes them on the other side. And I'm sure you guys can attest to that as well.
Well, it's huge to see the growth, the maturity, how the sport, you know, puts discipline into their lives, makes them more respectful. You know, Rob had one this past Wednesday that, you know, that went a little overboard, and I had to have a little chat with him. But then I saw him on Saturday. The kid's in a better place. He understands, you know, how his actions have consequences. And so he grew over the 3 days since I saw him on Wednesday. And those are the kind of things you love to see, that they are grasping the concepts of that wrestling, you know, will imprint on them. So,
amen. Yeah, responsibility. I mean, name another sport where you got to keep track of when you're going to compete again and get ready a certain amount ahead of time and do all this stuff and properly hydrate and fuel yourself in between. And you got to manage all that because your coach is coaching matches all day long. Your coach does not have time to manage that. Your coach is going to maybe come find you when your match is coming up, but more than likely you're going to have to find your coach and say, Coach, my match is coming up. And that's a big learning curve for some of them. And early in the season, we really struggled with it. But now it's like, man, they're on top of it. They know when they're wrestling next. They know who they're wrestling next, and they're getting ready for it. And so just to see them mature in that way and take responsibility for the situation, like they have no idea how much that's going to serve them later in life, because that is life, brother. You don't know what's coming unless you prepare yourself for it. And the better you prepare yourself, the better you'll be equipped to handle it. So no, I love that aspect of it. Getting back to earlier conversation, Powell says every year at North-South, the association talks to the 72 seniors about staying in the sport and becoming officials. So I guess we just got to get more guys from down here to North-South so they can hear that speech and we can get them into the sport. And Blake Butler, arguably the best wrestler in the Lowco pound for pound, maybe inarguably, maybe. He's really good.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, really good. He says, respectfully, Honorable Mr. Dixon, I definitely got my one.
I love it. That's well said.
I love that. All right, boys. Any final thoughts before we call it a night? I thought it was a great discussion tonight, and it was a great week of wrestling, man. I can't wait for next week.
Hey, if you don't mind, man, I just want to give a shout out to my beautiful bull sharks, man. They wrestled pretty tough today. Went down at South Effingham with 10 wrestlers and took second out of about I think 20 teams, maybe something close to that, something like that. You know, so they went out and wrestled pretty tough today. Yesterday too, they took I think like about the same mountain. They wrestle pretty tough over there in Somerville, so they're pretty grinding away too. So yeah. So it was pretty cool for them, So they're growing and getting buying into the sport and just loving the sport. It's great seeing them, going out there and families are bonding together like we talked about before, man. And coaches are all out there, coaching it up. So gotta give a shout out to them. Yeah. So just want to do that.
Love that, brother. That's awesome. I'm so excited for what you're building over there with the Bull Sharks, and it just seems to really be accessible. And what has happened with George?
I got bounced. Yeah, I got bounced there for a second.
Yeah, it was cool because South F brought 40, and so it was pretty cool. Yeah,
it's a numbers game in the
field,
for sure. But I always like to figure the points scored per wrestler and stack it up that way, because for us little guys that we took 4 yesterday, and I think we finished 12th out of 18.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of pride in that. I mean, there were people that had 20, 30 wrestlers there yesterday. Now, not the ones that finished below us, but still, to take 4 and come up with as many points as we did, I was thrilled with all of our guys and the way they wrestled. And it's just, oh man, I don't know. I could talk about it all night, so we won't do that. But shout out, I didn't give them the love at the start, but the show always brought to you by Reverence Wrestling Club. Great club here in Bluffton. As good as you'll find anywhere in the world, quite frankly. I mean, a world-class wrestling club. It's right here. It's also very accessible. Blake Maffei does a great job at that place, and I know a lot of people are training as many places that they can get in, as many nights a week as they can get in there, which is what we love to see. So Reverence has made that possible over on this side of the river, and you guys definitely with the Bull Sharks are getting it going over there as well. So no reason not to be on the mats around here anymore. There's plenty of access and opportunity. So check out Reverence Wrestling Club. The Sunday open mats are a must, and you can do that year round and keep yourself on the mat, once a week or so. Will make a tremendous difference when you get back out there next winter. So hope people will take advantage of that this season. Also, shout out to Mickelson Law Firm, our founding sponsor of Lowco Sports. Been with us since the beginning. We appreciate all their support over the years, and you can call on them for all your legal needs in downtown Bluffton at Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And Hilton Head Christian needs to get wrestling going, boys. We're missing the boat over there. We need to get with JP2 going. But any other final thoughts, boys, tonight?
Gentlemen, just be safe out there. Keep the kids safe. Let's keep growing the sport, boys and girls. Let's keep it going. And again, as I've been saying for years, we want to see this become the Mecca in South Carolina for wrestling.
Heck yeah! And then let's get South Carolina past Georgia too. Let's go.
Yeah. The growth has been tremendous, at least since I've been here, 18, 19 years now. So I just love seeing it getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Beaufort County, we can be the gold standard in South Carolina wrestling. I think that, we have the coaches in this area, we have the clubs in this area, we have the athletes. So, I mean, there's no reason why we can't be dominating at the state level, in all classifications.
We got people moving in from Ohio and Pennsylvania and New Jersey and all them places every day too. And as you guys, a lot of them are moving to New Riverside. The rich get richer over there. Huh?
So you mentioned that, but as you know, Pennsylvania is the best sport state for wrestling. So we keep getting those people down here. I'm sure it'll keep getting better and better and better. There's no doubt about that.
It's kind of hard to argue. I mean, I know I'm from Kansas and we were pretty good, but we know what it was. We knew Iowa was better than us. We knew Pennsylvania was better than us. We went to Oklahoma pretty frequently and got our asses kicked. So we knew what was going on down there. And then one year our high school got to go to the Cowboy Classic at Oklahoma State. And we wrestled people from like New Mexico and California and someplace else. And they just dog walked us. And that was eye-opening for me because I was in 7th grade, I think. And those high school guys, we won like 3 state titles, 4 state titles in the 90s. And I thought those were the best wrestlers I'd ever seen in my life. And they just got mollywopped. And then we got to watch the college guys go at it. And I was like, holy cow, there's a whole new level to this that I didn't understand. And I was hooked before then, but I was really hooked after that. To see that high level of wrestling. So yeah, to get out here and it was pretty bare bones 20 years ago. George knows he was one of the pioneers trying to build it up back then. There was a lot of success in spite of it being bare bones. There were programs having great success, but there was not any kind of really feeder system or early opportunity to get into the sport early at all. So they were doing it from scratch when they got to middle school.
Yeah, because when I got started, my coach, Dave Martin, had kind of tried to get a little club thing going, and some of the high school kids would go. We would go what used to be the drivers where you got your license and stuff over on Hilton Head. It was an old elementary school. There were some mats set up at the end, and we would go in as high school wrestlers and kind of work with those kids. And we had some of them come through, but then as he left, other coaches came in before I got there, and that all fell to the wayside. And so then when I got there, I got the middle school program running at Hilton Head, and that helped, and we were all going together, and so we started building and stuff with that. It took time, and everybody, we were trying to get better. So, but Buford had some good teams. Battery Creek, of course, they had with Nate Day over there. Nate was doing a wonderful job with those kids, and they won state titles. And then we were, it was us, James Island, and Battery Creek. We were all top 5 in the state, but I got James Island and Battery Creek. They're 1 and 3, and we're 5. And so we couldn't even make the playoffs. But it was pretty good wrestling back then for what we had.
Yeah, no doubt. And even when I got here, I mean, like Bluffton and Hilton Head were both solid, and they were scrapping. But it was like them and Buford. That was it. There was no May River. And then of course Battery Creek had a outstanding program. But I mean, there's so many more programs now than there were then. So many more schools in general. But you throw May River in there, Bridges, JP2. Now Hardyville, there's a bunch of new programs now that are pretty solid that weren't even around back then. So it was just the numbers were very small, but the place was different too. I mean, the place has grown so much with transplants that it's naturally. I mean, Rosenleibs came from Ohio, right? And they kind of set off the culture there at Bluffton. That kind of started something. Is Nicolosi coming back for alumni night?
I haven't heard from him. I'm
gonna make sure he knows.
I'm not sure.
I'm connected to his wife still, and
if you could, let him know. Let him know. I'll put him down on our list. If you could reach out to her and tell him, because I know I did everything through Facebook. I know he used to be on there, but I wasn't sure if he still was or not.
Yeah,
so
you never know. People check it. Some people just kind of checked out on Facebook and.
Let him know, and if you hear from him, let me know, and I'll put him down on the list and make sure he can come in.
Will do, man. All right, that's a great event that you guys are having. That's you said that's tomorrow night. You got
tomorrow night, yeah. And what I actually would like to do is eventually grow it to where we do like a because tomorrow's senior night too. But I'd like to eventually get to the point where we do like a little recognition or something too. Before a match or something like that. So now I can't take complete credit for it. I'm stealing it from my high school back home. So but it's always a good time to recognize those old guys. So and the guys that came help make the program strong. So
there ain't no new ideas in the world at this point, man. It's just implementing them. That's the battle. So that's good stuff. Got some great matches on tap. You got May River hosting Hilton Head tomorrow night. You got Buford at Bluffton tomorrow night. What do you guys got this week, Mitch?
Well, we got region individuals. We're going up to hand, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to have a try over at Bridges. We're going to see them again in Whale Branch. And then we're going to go over to the Warrior Duels over at John Paul on Saturday. So
yeah, we got our senior night Wednesday with Savannah Christian and Burke, and then we'll be at the Warrior Duels as well. And then of course taking the 2 up to the middle school qualifier at Somerville. So good week ahead, man. Looking forward to it. And George, you told us your schedule for the week. You're reffing every night except one night off.
Let's go.
No rest for the honorable Mr. Dixon.
Man, I tell you, keep me busy.
We'll let you get some rest now, get a good night's sleep, and start your week off right tomorrow with watching your son call a great match over there at Bluffton. And good stuff, boys. We enjoyed it. Thanks, Maynard.
Thank you, Maynard.
Yeah, no problem.
Get in, and I said, well, you sit Matt's side for the whole day every Saturday, so might as well get you in the mix. And
well, he's going to be busy on Tuesday night because Maynard's over McCracken's hosting the middle school district championships.
Middle school district.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So I'll be there putting in the results for that one too. But yeah, thanks for having me. Love talking wrestling. I'll do it anytime. So
yeah, man, and always good to hear from you, Coach Michelici. And you're a great wingman, George Dixon. Best Lowco wrestling official, best in South Carolina, probably, right? And also the best co-host of a wrestling podcast. The Emmy for co-host of a wrestling centered podcast goes to the honorable Mr. Dixon. But good stuff tonight, boys. Enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next Sunday for another edition of the Lowco Grind presented by Reverence Wrestling Club. And the rest of the crew will be back tomorrow night on Lowco Sports Lowdown to let you know what's going on in the Lowco sports scene. So thanks for tuning in. And for Brian Maynard, Rob Michelici, and George Dixon, I'm Justin Jarrett. And also for Bobby, Uncle Baby Billy Freeman. He's on my show. But till next time, go Lowco.
Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.